Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be discussing my September and October books that I read. Now, I know I discussed this probably in previous videos, but I only read 2 books in both October and September. So I will be talking about them in one whole video because it makes no sense to do one video on 2 books. Although I probably could rant about Binding and Keeping 13 for a whole, 20-minute video, maybe more. But I'm not going to put you guys through that. So starting with some statistics, in September I read 2 books, like I said, both were 6 stars, so there was a 6-star average rating. I have a total of 1,295 pages read, and they were both romances. So in September, obviously, I read Binding and Keeping 13. I only have Binding 13 with me here. I actually just ordered Keeping 13 with the gradient spine, so I'm so excited to get that. Now all I need is Saving 6, and then I'll have my full complete collection, which I'm so excited about. Binding 13 is about this girl, her name is Shannon, and she is from an abusive household. Her father is abusive, he drinks a lot. Her mom is kind of stuck in the middle, her mom doesn't know what to do. Shannon has 2 older brothers and 3 younger brothers, so she's the only girl, which puts her mainly as the target by her father because she's the only girl. So she's being bullied at the, I want to say college, but for us in America, it's not college. This takes place in Ireland, by the way. So there is going to be things that don't really make sense in this book to you. That's probably because it's Irish slang. But there is a glossary in the front of the book, which I was not really into when going into this book. I was like, really? If a book needs a glossary, I'm not going to understand anything. But literally all you need to do is use context clues. I said this in my Poppy War reading vlog video, that all you need to do is read a sentence after, and you will probably understand what it's saying. Anywho, so basically she is in a college slash, I guess it's high school for us, and she's just being bullied by everybody. She's like really short, which is kind of made a personality trait for her, even though there are tons more personality traits for her. It is mentioned a lot, and that's a lot of things that people dislike about this book, is because she is considered small and dainty, and like that's her only personality. But it really isn't. Once you read more into the book, you're just looking surface level, you guys. You're just looking surface level. So once you get more into the book, you kind of understand more of her personality. People just think that that's the only personality trait she has. Anyway, she's small, she's getting picked on, and she's being bullied. So her mom takes her out of the college and puts her in Boys of Tommen College. Nope, she puts her in Tommen College, which is a more expensive school, and you pay a lot, basically. So none of her other siblings had to go to Tommen, but she is now the first, and her dad does not like it. Her dad is not for it. She goes to Tommen on her first day with her friends who she already knew previously to being at Tommen. And she goes on her first day, but she forgets something in one of her classes, so she winds up having to go back all the way across the field. And by the time she gets the thing from her class, she's like, there's no point in going back because I'll already be late to the class, so I'm just gonna sit here on the field and watch the guys play rugby. So she's watching the guys play rugby, and a rugby ball just comes and flies at her head, because that like always happens. It's just how things go in the school. So she gets hit with a flying rugby ball, and believe it or not, it was Johnny Kavanagh, the main male character in this book. He has my entire heart. I love Johnny Kavanagh so much. He apologizes, he does whatever he can to help her, gets her to the nurse's office, and where it goes from there. Oh my god, this book has my entire heart. I fell in love with this book maybe not even halfway through. I felt something for this book that I haven't felt in so long, and it really just, like, it got me, and I relate so much to some of these characters. Obviously, not the abusive part, nothing's going on in my home, like, I'm okay, you guys. I'm just saying I relate to, like, like, the mental issues that some of these characters face, and it really just stuck with me, and this book forever has my heart. Now, moving on to Keeping 13. Again, I unfortunately don't have that, but it is in the mail, and it is coming very soon, so I'm very excited. But Keeping 13, there's not much that I could say about this book, really, because, you would have to read Binding 13 to, get the gist of Keeping 13, but it leaves off exactly where Binding 13 ended, so there's no, like, space in between that you missed that you have to catch up on. Literally the exact line that Binding 13 ended on is the exact line that Keeping 13 starts on. So if that's something you're concerned about, don't be. I know Binding and Keeping 13 might seem very, oh my god, what's the word? Oh my god, what's the word? You're like scared of it. Don't be. Keeping 13 made me cry like no other book. And I know Mads said this in one of her videos, that I never cry over books. Literally, I never cry over books. I think I cried over maybe 4 or 5 books so far in the however many I've read in the past 2 or 3 years, but Keeping 13 made me cry, I want to say, at least, like the least 3 times, most probably 5. And they were all different scenarios. Oh my god, if you need like an emotional, heavy romance that isn't just like lighthearted, like this is a heavy book that will sit with you, you need to read Binding 13 and Keeping 13, and you just have to continue the series. So far I haven't started Saving 6 yet. I know Mads did, but I haven't started it yet. But I'm not prepared. I am not prepared for Saving 6 or Redeeming 6 because I just know Joey and Aoife are going to get me. I know they're gonna get me, so I like physically have to like prepare myself, and I'm just not ready for that yet. So currently I'm reading like lighthearted cutesy romances, although I am rereading ACOTAR right now, so you guys are gonna get the reread of ACOTAR video very soon because I'm like almost halfway through. But anyway, Keeping 13, again, not much I can say about it. It was so unbelievably, and I know I keep doing this, I just don't, so good. I don't know how to express my feelings other than to just clench my heart. Like, oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, so that was Binding and Keeping 13. Those were the 2 books that I read in the month of September. Now on to October. In October, I also read 2 books. Like I said, the average rating was a 3.25. I read 927 pages, and I read 1 romance and 1 fantasy. So starting off in October, I read The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This was for a book video. Me and Mads swapped favorite reads, so obviously hers was The Poppy War, mine was Binding 13. I did read The Poppy War. I rated this a 3.5 stars. I'm gonna be completely honest. I did not love this book. I think it was good at the start. It had a good like plot line going, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't remember a single thing that happened. I remember the first part of the book, could not recall the second. I know that there was always something going on though, and I said this again in one of my previous videos, that there was always something going on, and I think that was really what stuck to me with this book, and also the main character. Those were both 2 things that I specifically remember and recall and liked about this book, because there was just always something going on. There was never really a like dull moment, which was great because this is like a 530 something page book, so you know it's gonna be good, which it was, but I don't think all of it appealed to me. I'm more of a romance girly, if we couldn't tell. So this book has no romance in it. If you were wondering, there's not a hint of romance in this book. So if that's what you're looking for, I don't suggest picking this up. But if you are looking for a very, I want to say heavy too, because there were some heavy topics in here. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for like very much war and stuff like that, I definitely suggest picking this book up. The Poppy War is about this girl, her name is Rin, and every single year they do this test, and it's really hard. You know, you have to pass it if you want to be like, I guess, successful or go to like a successful school. So you have to study for this test for like years. Like, this is a really hard test. So when she does it, she passes like perfectly, and everybody's like, how'd you do that? That's like really hard to do. How did you do that? And of course she's accused of cheating, which, you know, she's like, no, I didn't. So if you want to like die, then you can accuse me, but you're gonna lose me, and I'm like the best you could get. So then she gets accepted into like her dream school. She goes there, she learns, she trains, and you know, war breaks loose. So that's basically the Poppy War for you. I would also like to add that the main character, Rin, in this book very much reminds me of Aelin Galathynius, which is great. There are some things that when Rin was talking or doing something, I was like, Aelin would never do that. Aelin would absolutely never do that. But other than that, I feel like there are some aspects of Rin that very much remind me of Aelin. And I think that's really what got me through this book, because I just wasn't loving it the entire time that I was reading it. But every single time that something that reminded me of Aelin Galathynius came up, I was like, okay, I'll just read till the end. And, you know, that kind of was what got me through the book. But, you know, obviously the ending. Lastly, we have Fall into Temptation by Lucy Score. I'm reading this for a Reading Fall Books video, and it was an interesting book. I think it was mainly based for like the fall time, but it really just didn't give fall. Like even the cover, like you would assume it's kind of fall, but like not really, just because there's like, I mean, you know, the fall leaves and stuff. Really, other than like the cover or, you know, just some like quick things that people said about like Thanksgiving or like, you know, Halloween. Other than that, there really wasn't any fall aspects to this. It was just a regular romance book. I think the male main character, Beckett, was kind of a butthole. I really didn't like him. I think he was okay, but once like the third act breakup happened, he was just a red flag. Like after that, I was like, ooh, because during that third act breakup, and I said this in my reading fall books video, so you're gonna hear it again later, he literally said to his mother that he didn't care about something that the main female character's child did, who he was like super close with. So like this child, he was like super close with, you know, he would always like piggyback ride, play games and stuff. And then when the third act breakup happened, it's like he completely forgot about it. He completely like didn't even care anymore. And when that happens, I'm like, ooh, because when the third act breakup happens, like you can't just go right to hating them, because didn't you just like obsess over them for like this whole time? And now you're gonna tell me that like you don't even like their kids anymore, and like you don't care that they got into this or like whatever. Like, who are you? Anyway, the book is basically about this girl. Her name is Gianna. That's me. And she has red hair. That's also me. And she moves to this new little town. It's called Blue Moon, and it's really cute. Like, it gives me Gilmore Girls vibes, except for, you know, the main male character. She moves to Blue Moon in the back of, basically it's like a little, I want to say a little cottage in the back of Beckett, main male character's house. So like, I guess they were like renting it, and so she rented it, and so she was living there with her kids. So they walk home together one day, and she's like, oh, this is my stop. And he's like, no, it can't be, because this is my stop. And so that is how he finds out that she is renting his little cottage in the back of his house. Now, her two kids, she previously divorced the husband of one of her kids, and she's the stepmom of the other kid. So she gets, you know, time with them, like part custody, because the one kid's mom died. And both the child's dad gets custody as well. So something in books that just really frustrates me is the custody battles between the two parents. It also happened in, what is that, Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, which is the main reason that I DNF'd that book, because there was just so much happening between the parents of the kids, and they were like fighting for custody. It's just unnecessary, and I just really hate when books do that, because like they have so much potential and then that happens, and personally I'm just like, I can't stand that, because like, why are we spending a whole book fighting over who has these children when the main topic is this woman and this man being together? Hello? It was okay. I think I'm gonna rate it a solid 3 stars. If you want a cute fall romance, I suggest reading this book. It is a happy ending, don't worry. So you won't get any, you know, cliffhangers or anything like that. So it is a good short, it's like 340 something pages, 317. So it's a cute short fall romance book. I suggest this for your cute fall romancy needs. So these are all the books that I read in the month of September and October. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.